Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurlia Pratika Ramayan. Today I will talk about EPF. First and foremost, EPF, which Employees Provident Fund, or be known as KWSP, is a social security initiative implemented by various countries to promote long-term savings and financial security for employees. Employees Provident Fund (EPF) is a compulsory savings scheme in Malaysia. In the context of Malaysia, where EPF is commonly referred to, it involves both the employee and the employee making regular contributions to a provident fund. 11% of monthly salary to the EPF. The employer will contribute another 12% or 13% of the salary. The statutory contribution rate is subject to changes by the government to EPF savings. However, either you or employer or both may contribute at a rate exceeding by the statutory rates. The primary purpose of EPF is to create a fund that employees can access upon retirement, resignations, or in special circumstances like illness. The accumulated amount in the fund includes both the contributions made by the employer and the employee, along with the interest over time. These corporates help provide a financial cushion to employees during their post-employment years. Next, about EPF membership. All employees in Malaysia who have reached the age of 16 and employed under a contract of service, whether express or implied, and whether oral or in writing, must be registered as a member of the EPF. Prior to 1st August 1998, expatriates and foreign workers were not required to contribute to the EPF, although they may elect to do so. They are divided into three, which is private sector employees, non-pensionable public sector employees, and voluntary contributors. Other than that, there are two types of contributions, which is self-contributions and mandatory contributions. Next, in EPF membership, this requirement applies to both Malaysia and non-Malaysia employees. The type of employment doesn't matter. It covers full-time, part-time, temporary, and contract workers. Certain categories of employees are exempt from mandatory EPF contributions, such as domestic workers, members of the armed forces, and self-employed individuals. The employer is responsible for the registering their employees with the EPF and dedicating and contributing the required amount from their salaries. Both the employee and the employer contribute percentage of the employee's monthly wages to the EPF account. That's all for the EPF memberships. Thank you.
Okay, now I will talk about the EPF contribution. EPF contribution refer to the amount deducted from an employee's salary and contributed by the employer towards the EPF account of the employee. The EPF contribution is a percentage of the employee's basic salary and earner's allowance and is currently set at 12% of the salary for both the employer or employee. However, if the employee's salary is 15,000 or more, the employer 12% contribution is divided into two parts, with 8.33% going to the EPS account and the remaining amount being transferred to the EPF account. The EPF contribution also is credited to the EPF account on a monthly basis, and interest is computed every month, with the total interest for the year being credited at the end of financial year. The interest rate of EPF account is fixed by the government and it is currently set at 8.15% for the financial year to.
Hello everyone, now I will be discussing the various Employees Provident Fund EPF withdrawal scheme in Malaysia. Our first scheme is the Account 2 withdrawal. Members can utilize funds from Account 2 for education, housing, or medical purpose. This provides flexibility and financial support during critical life events. Moving on to the second withdrawal scheme is the education. And this education withdrawal allows members to withdraw funds for educational expenses, which is supporting personnel or family members' higher education aspirations. Now let's delve into the housing withdrawal scheme. Members can access funds to purchase, construct, or settle housing loans, providing a helping hand in home ownership. Next up is the medical withdrawal scheme. Members facing medical expenses due to critical illness or requiring surgery can utilize EPF funds for necessary treatments. Last but not least, as the members reach the age of 50 and 55 years old, they have the option to make partial withdrawals from their EPF savings, offering financial flexibility during these milestone years. To sum up, the EPF withdrawal scheme catered to various life needs, ensuring financial support during education, housing, medical emergencies, and as members approach retirement age.
Okay, next we will be getting into the offense and the penalties upon the offense itself. Okay, the first one will be the Section 41, Clause 1. In case where an employer failed to register with the board within 7 days from the date he become liable to contribute. Okay, so the penalties will be he or she will be liable to the imprisonment not exceeding than 3 years, or a fine not exceeding than 10,000 ringgit, or both. Now the second offenses will be which an employer fails to notify the board within 30 days after he or she sees the liability to contribute, or it can also be failure to submit or required returns, documents, or records as per the EPF rules. Now he or she shall be liable to imprisonment term not exceeding than 6 months, and or fine not exceeding than Rm 2,000 ringgit, or both. Okay, next one, as we all know, employer are required to contribute on the behalf of their employee. So the third offenses, which is in Section 43 Clause 2, in case where any employers fails to contribute on the EPF board on the behalf of their employee, they shall be liable to imprisonment not exceeding than 3 years, or to be fined not exceeding than 10,000 ringgit, or both.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Shazwan bin Salamat. I will continue the presentation about the offense and penalty. Under Section 43 Bracket 2, any employer who failed to contribute to the EPF board on behalf of each of his employee, the contribution shall be remit on or before the 15th day of the month. The employee shall be liable to imprisonment term not exceeding 3 years, or to a fine not exceeding 10,000 ringgit, or both. In under Section 47 Bracket 1, any employer who deducts or attempts to deduct from the wages or remuneration of any employee the whole or any part of the employer's share of contribution, the employers shall be liable to an imprisonment term not exceeding 6 years, or to a fine not exceeding 20,000 ringgit, or both. The last offences and penalty under Section 48 Bracket 3. Any employer who deducts the employee's share of contribution from the wages of an employee and failed to pay the total sum deducted or any part of the sum to EPF, the employer shall be liable to imprisonment term not exceeding 6 years or to a fine not exceeding 20,000 ringgit or both. Thank you.